Here's why Faruzan is not a support, and this is not copium. So the current Vibro Crystal event has an anemo based buff on the second stage. When a swirl reaction is triggered, everyone in the party gains 35% crit rate for 6 seconds. Then when you combine this with the crystal buffs, you can really boost your team's anemo damage. Well, I'm going to utilize this and make Faruzan a main DPS because why not? It's also quite satisfying to watch the other party members contribute to a total mess where I don't even know what's going on anymore. For the second half, it's just going to be an assortment of anemo characters plus Yelan because she's associated with the chasm. I also bet the Ruined Serpent is her pet. And here's why anemo is crazy. So the team dynamic goes something like this. Faruzan is the main DPS, Kazuha is here just to do Kazuha things, Rosaria is here to apply cryo for freeze as well as for noblesse buff, and Kokomi is here to give thrilling tales as well as 4-piece tenacity. And why Faruzan main DPS, you ask? Because I have no resin. And why do I have no resin? Because I built Faruzan as a DPS. Nothing is ever a win-win for me. It's a constant state of hard pity. Also, to be honest, I'm not sure what's going on with all the buffs, and I'm too lazy to keep track, but here's Faruzan destroying everything because she's triple crowned. Also, Faruzan is known to have crippling energy issues, but with so many monsters spawning, I don't think that will be an issue. A thing to mention is that C1 makes this a lot better. For those of you who don't know, without C1 she only gets 1 enhanced charge shot per elemental skill. With C1 she gains 2 per elemental skill use, and it allows her to have almost 100% uptime if you swap between characters to buff her, and then you swap back to fire those hurricane arrows. Also, these arrows lower anemo resistance, so having C1 makes the second shot do more damage. It's a pretty fun build. Also, these arrows count as a fully charged shot and have a shorter windup. In a sense, she's kind of like Anemo Tonari. Not nearly as strong, but it's definitely silly. Now, is this build optimal in the Spiral Abyss? It is, from floor 9 to 11, but once you reach floor 12, it falls off a cliff. Much like how Xiao almost fell to his death during Perilous Trail for being so short. There's something about Faruzan and her hurricane arrows that are really satisfying to use. It's kind of like a mini version of Sucrose E that you can directly aim. I guess that's what makes it really nice to use, is the fact that you can control it. Auto-targeting in this game is lamentable sometimes. But it's okay, I've gotten used to it at this point by maining Yoimiya. She's not only the Whiff Archon, but also the Skip Archon, 2 titles at once. She's doing so well. Also, I like how Hoyoverse tends to design characters with trade-offs, which is a good thing, but usually characters with buff a lot shouldn't do that much damage. But here we are with Faruzan and Kazuha dealing tons of anemo damage. Silly Hoyoverse. So that was the first half. On to the second half. I'm not going to show you this one that much because it's boring, much like how Scaramouche is boring. The only interesting part about him is his exquisite hat. Other than that, he's a pretty basic guy with a fickle temperament. On another note, my Hazo has Faruzan's support artifacts. He has like 200% energy recharge and a 40-60 crit ratio. But even with that, he still manages to punch pretty hard. What an awesome character. If only Yelan actually gave you a catch every time she said that. That would save everyone from the constant pain of fishing. Okay, one last stop. This is what happens when you lose your 50-50. So that's main DPS Faruzan and Anemo in a nutshell. It's hard to imagine that an element like Geo exists in the same game. Please, Hoyoverse. Please.